presidency we had, you know, come 1963. You remember, or perhaps you've heard of it, depends on now when one joined Kenya as a person, that a vice president then, by the name of Ogiga Odinga, resigned because he felt the then president, Jomo Kenyatta, was not honoring the constitution. And then after that, we had President Mwai. And when he came into office, which kind of gave a birth to this new constitution, he stayed in office long enough, but towards the late or the early 90s, the late 80s, early 90s, people started agitating for repealing some of the constitutional sections of the constitution. The most pronounced one was the 2A, about multipartyism, because people felt that it was now growing to a dictatorship. And people needed to express themselves, the freedom of rights, rights of expression, you know, the liberties of Kenyans and all that, human rights, and most importantly, the right to vote as an individual, because people did not have that directly. And President Moi, of course, he was not very happy with that. We know what happened to that generation. But unfortunately, as much as that was repealed and we got the rights now to vote, the multipartyism, and people started engaging on the political discourse, the political class saw it as a way to continue yielding power. And they undermined the spirit of a constitution, because a constitution is supreme. This constitution is what the people want. Then, fast forward, we have our president, the late President Mwai Kibaki, and he left us a legacy that we forever remember him by. I know you have the economics that we keep talking about, but I think the birth of our constitution, this 2010 constitution, for me, it was his greatest achievement and legacy that he left us as a country. Now, when it came into play, again, we have a very good constitution, but modern wisdom informs that a good constitution does not make a good country. It is constitutionalism, honoring the spirit and the word of that constitution, that builds up a people, the nation, that now make up a good country. That is where the struggle is. Constitutionalism, are we fully committed to the spirit and the letter or the word of our constitution? We do not honor what I would call a conceptual fidelity. That's why you will see a judge will issue a court order. It's a judiciary, it's an arm of government, but another arm of government is not going to honor that. That's why you hear, like my friend Han says, that development is not fully devolved. There are areas that are not experiencing development today. But if you go to budget allocation, each county has a governor. That governor receives funds that are supposed to do whatever project they're supposed to do. So it's not the fault of, in a manner of speaking, the national government, that the local, because we have two forms of government. Now it's not the local government, it's the county government. It's not the fault of the national government that the county government is not working. So devolution came to make sure, as my panelists are saying, that there is equitable distribution of resources, that each and every child in this, or Kenyan in this country, has an equal opportunity to advance in life and to access services. So my lapse that I am able to identify is not just about projects and programs. It is about us not honoring the spirit of the Constitution. Constitutionalism is where we fail. Because if we simply do what the Constitution says, we are going to avoid the three greatest enemies, according to me, that hinder our advancing as a nation, which is corruption, incompetence, and impunity. If we can deal with that, and the only way to deal with that is just to honor the Constitution, we put you in office where you belong, meritocracy, you know, that will take out the incompetence we see even with our members of parliament. Because today you'll hear people saying, my member of parliament is very good, they gave us bursary. That is regression, that is not progress. The bare minimum. And if anything, the NGCDF is unconstitutional again. You get? So if we can deal with impunity, incompetence, and corruption, then we'll have a good country. And the only way to deal with that is to honor the Constitution. Because it is an all-inclusive document and gives us a foundation on how we are supposed to be governed in a nation. It takes care of our morals, it takes care of our economics,